go out there and try that.
Well,
This bitch was bad.
Go ahead and get started, Ms. Moore.
you can trust.
It's 10 o'clock, we're back in session. Time for our public comment section. Request, if anyone has any comments to be made, come forward, state your name, address, phone number, and you're allotted 4 minutes. Anyone?
Tom Drew, P.O. Box 587, Goldsboro 27533. Got any Trekkies on this board? Star Trek Trekkies? I know y'all shy when it comes to that question. First, to hopefully with Leonard Nimoy's blessing, I wish to mock Spock. The Vulcans had this sign language, and y'all know what that means? It says live long and prosper. The Vulcans, known for their logic, got it bass-ackwards. In Milky Waynian, we say prosper and live long. And that is prosper physically, materially, and spiritually, that each conflicts or complements with the others. To complement that, I've been researching a question, say it's not a malpractice in medicine or legislation, though education of doctors and lawyers only as great as the schools they come from. I did share with y'all several pages. Written across the top is a question formulated back in '97. I began researching at the Wayne County School Administration building to find out if someone asked this question in class, how the teacher would answer. If I can only ask one question of all doctors of mind, body, and tooth, this is the question. And fortunately, Dr. Gupta, last week, presentation at Wayne Memorial, he reaffirmed some facts I shared back in '97 to introduce the question. At that time and now, heart disease, leading cause of death in the United States. Of the 50 states, North Carolina number 1. Of the regions of North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina number 1. Significantly in the news a week or so ago, the Brody School of Medicine and the Heart Institute at ECU on the skids. This question presently has been censored from the Dean Paul Cunningham of the Brody School of Medicine. The question is the heart a volunteer muscle, involuntary muscle? Is the heart a volunteer muscle, involuntary muscle, both, neither, or other? And if other, please specify. This is a question ideally any high school graduate should be able to answer with that high school degree, to have basic understanding of the basic systems of the body, muscular, nervous, digestive, and such. One thing that caught my attention last summer in the history of this question, which that began in '97 and '08, I got a packet here. Matter of fact, I got transcripts of the 4/15/08 meeting where I presented the question to this board, same question, and the Board of Education, no answers, seeking their answers. Last summer, Dr. Grant gave that presentation about the survival rate of cardiac arrest, 911 calls, and it was down in the teens, 15 or something like that. He did share, there was one place in the United States, it was Oregon or Washington, where it was up around 25%. And my theory then and since, as well as he said that they had a defibrillator on every corner in every Starbucks, that was his theory why it was so successful. That part of the country is yoga country. When faced with stress and duress, they know how to decompress, then to progress and call 911 yourself. Because if you don't know how to do it, you're waiting for someone else to do it for you. And we can increase that percentage in Wayne County by advancing education at the heart is both voluntary and involuntary. It is learned behavior.
Thank you, Mr. Drew, for your comments. Does anyone else have any comments?
Bob Jackson, 109 Aurora Lane, Goldsboro. I didn't quite finish what I intended to say earlier.
Well, you have 4 minutes, Mr.
Thank you. I appreciate the 4 minutes, by the way. The Wayne County, Wayne Prep, those of you who know where it's at now, we have modulars, which is pretty standard with charter schools to get you started for the lack of funds to do it otherwise. It is our hope that within the next 12 months that we will start some permanent buildings on that 53 acres at the corner of Tommy's Road and 111. It is the plan to, within a short few years, to have that K through 12 with all permanent buildings, including gyms and tracks and the whole thing. And I'm confident we can do that with the monies that will be available, be able to make the payments on the bonds without any problem. The charter school in Mecklenburg is kind of locked in with their space. It is what it will be because we've covered all 5 acres of what we had to work with. So they won't get much more than K through 5, but we have plans for other schools in the Charlotte area also. Now, for what it's worth, Department, it is my personal opinion that this board, when it comes to the creation of jobs, as it's sometimes called, I believe that your calling as board members is to make conditions such that it would entice business to come to Wayne County. And there are several ways to do that, and of course one of them would be the main one they look for. There's 2 main ones that I think that companies look for, and that would be education, our schools, and the other one would be our tax base. How do we shape up with taxes compared to counties around us and other counties in the state? But I believe that we should look at making conditions such, not to try and create jobs. I don't think that's government's place. I think it's the government's place, in this case, this board, to create the conditions that make it to where companies would want to come to Wayne County, and those that are here to expand in Wayne County. We have done a great job with lowering taxes last year, and hopefully you can find a way to do that again this year. It would be my hope that you would consider how to do that best, and to consider the taxpayers of Wayne County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Anyone else have any comments?
Gentlemen, if you'll let me switch hats for 4 minutes.
Yes, sir.
C.J. Weaver, City Limits of Mount Olive. I respectfully withhold my phone number due to obvious
Okay,
reasons.
okay.
I am on the Toronto District Committee for Boy Scouts of America. Toronto District is Wayne County. I am also the chairman of our District Pinewood Derby. This Saturday at Southern Wayne, we will be hosting our District Pinewood Derby. Cub Scouts is 1st through 5th grade. It's our younger boys. They don't do as many community projects as the Boy Scouts, and they're not seen in public as much. If you would like to see what's going on in your county, and some of you are on civic religious organizations that sponsor our packs and our troops and our venture scouts and crews, come out to Southern Wayne. If you come about 10 o'clock, you will see one of the most energetic and enthusiastic groups of young men and parents, and you'll see what one of our great organizations is doing for the youth and your constituents within the county. So I just wanted to extend that out as a representative of the Toronto District. Come out to Southern Wayne this Saturday if you don't have plans. If you come out about 10 o'clock, you will see a great race. These young men are going to race cars that they built themselves with their parents and guardians. They'll have a great time. You'll see a lot of folks there cheering, and you'll see some of the things that we're doing inside the county. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'm
Mr.
asked
Gurley.
Yes, Mr.
Mr.
Gurley.
Weaver, please, if you'll send us the emails, so maybe we can get on our website and advertise a little bit, please.
I will get that to you. And any boy, if you have children, grandchildren, or great-grandchildren that are interested in scouting, that are in 1st through 5th grade, they can go to East Walnut Street to our office. We have websites and also Facebook sites. But I will make sure the Boy Scout office sends an email out that can get to each one of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Any other?
Mr. Bell.
Should we dock his pay for 4 minutes?
I was gonna say, if somebody,
Mr. Bell, even though he's had his 4 minutes, he was still here to protect you.
if you just tell the sheriff, don't watch this on TV, we'll be all right. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments? If not, public comment section is closed. County managers report.
Mr. Chairman, I don't have a great deal. We have moved into the budget process now, full force. Of course, our plan is to have it to you about mid-May, like we did last year, or towards the end of May. Everything's going well on that. The one other thing I wanted to mention to you, in your packet for information only, I wanted to call attention to this. Periodically, the Eastern Carolina Council Area Agency on Aging conducts a review of our local agency on aging, and I just wanted to call attention to the fact this is an outstanding review by them, and I just wanted to compliment Erin McAuliffe on it. There are no deficiencies at all, and she's very complimentary of the program over there. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move on into the commissioners' comments, and then when we get through, then we'll go back in closed session for a few minutes. Commissioners' comments, Mr. Bell?
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I have is that I've been trying to keep y'all updated on the expansion of the East Point, and right now it's kind of in limbo. We don't know what's gonna happen, so maybe in the future I'll have some report to give about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gurley?
Mr. Chairman, I attended, along with yourself, the Livestock Development Association annual banquet, and they had a very large crowd in attendance, and I was impressed with the number of scholarships they awarded that night, and also the amount of awards that the fair won this past year. That's all.
Mr. Pate?
There's not a whole lot because of the weather. Most things got canceled, as I'm sure happened to everybody. Give a weather report. Yeah, it's supposed to snow Thursday, I understand.
I've changed it around.
We did have a DSS meeting on the 23rd, and that focused around the Northwoods presentation, and I thought it was an excellent presentation. Case management software that can save this county literally millions of dollars going down the road. And I believe you guys were supposed to get back together to work out the numbers so we could get this thing voted on pretty soon. Okay. And the only other thing is, I think the news artist and Steve Herron, he brought me a picture of 3 lovely pink women from back in the 40s. One of them I actually know. Thanks for saving that and giving that to me. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Mr. Mann?
Yeah, it's been sort of light because of the weather, but I was at the DSS board meeting along with Commissioner Pate, and to add to what he said, going paperless is a key issue for DSS moving forward, and looking at a system that would allow us to do that. The choice is, like Johnson County did in January, if you don't go paperless and get the software to do it and get everything in place to do it, they just added on over 35 employees just to handle record keeping. Now, we have a choice, and of course, as we look at this, and of course, as the county manager works along with DSS on this, there's a considerable cost saving. I'm talking about in the millions to go paperless. A lot of counties are doing it and have done it, So it's just some things that's being looked at this point, as far as DSS is concerned. If I remember correctly, Commissioner Pate, since 1989, have we not had an 87% increase in caseloads?
I think that's right, especially with, increase in Medicaid.
I'm sorry, 2008.
Yeah,
Since 2008, there's been over an 89% increase in caseloads here in Wayne County. So along with that comes record keeping. What do? We got to get away from the paper. So this is something that's going to be coming up that we need to take a close look at. That's all I have.
Can I add something?
Yes, sir.
We've had a lot of turnover over there because of the workload is so
That is correct.
heavy.
Yeah.
And the cost of retraining personnel is a very expensive thing to do. Those people who are in business know that. And we think it will save 2 to 3 hours of work per day per social worker. And we've already got space problems trying to find, to put these people. So if we do go this route, we won't have to increase the number of staff. Because the workload is not going away. The Affordable Care Act is driving this thing.
That's right.
And anyway, just a little bit more about it. Yeah, it might not be a bad idea for the commissioners to see that presentation.
Right.
It's just a thought. Thank you.
Mr. Camardi.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I had the opportunity to attend two of my regular committees' wages. Enjoyed listening to them, and I've seen some information. I believe we had it in the newspaper, but I was made aware of some of the numbers that they give us for public information. I just want to always continue to say what a great job I think they're doing for the seniors, getting the meals out. They talked about the extraordinary, during the bad weather time, they still were able to get some meals out. Not all of them, but some of them, and maybe not every day, but they really stepped up and got some of the meals out to folk who really need the meals. And something that I've heard them mention before, but they provide us companions for seniors. Well, there's the volunteers, of course, and companions for seniors. And, as I look around at you guys, I know you're not rushing to need companions and people to help you, but let's always be considerate, though, of the day will come when we will all need those kinds of services. When Aaron was here about the senior citizen things, probably we all might benefit from dropping past there just to see what's happening, so that down the road somewhere we might pick out the event that we want to participate in on a regular basis. So I just want to share that as we consider the things that we do, always keeping in mind that we want to make sure that we are helping those who need help, and especially at the age where we will eventually get to, unless we're there already. So I just wanted to toss that little bit in. At the library meeting, I was pleased to hear the increase in the utilization of the libraries, and the Steele Memorial Library is being utilized in Mount Olive very heavily. I'm past there often, and there are cars parked in the front. The folks sitting there using those computers, sitting around in there with some of their own equipment, catching the signal. So I know that Southern Wayne County remains very pleased and thankful that this board stepped up and did what they did for the southern part of Wayne County. Now, I hear conversation at the library meetings about some things they love to do in the north, so I don't think it's time to say anything about that right now, but we all must realize we got to support and do things all around the county, so let's keep that in mind. I would like to take a moment, though, to recognize, maybe this is called recognizing, but just mention the fact that Mount Olive lost two of our citizens. They're not the only ones we lost, but they're very, very public people. Thomas Allen, who was an accountant in Mount Olive, and also based upon mind his conversation over the years, I'm sure he was involved with the fire department and so that kind of thing. I thought I was right, officer, but he and I have talked about fire department kinds of things, and so he was always one that was valuable to get his opinion about the fire departments and use of radios and things like that. So he and I talked a bit. And then George Fulgham served on the Mount Olive Town Board, and he passed away after a 6 or 8 month illness, and leaves his wife and a young daughter. But as always, the Mount Olive area steps up to the plate, and they had a fundraiser for him, and it was just outstanding, the participation. And the folk that turned out for celebrate his homegoing, just Mount Olive in southern Wayne County, and all that knew him turned out. But my relationship with that family goes back to my very first coming to Wayne County in 1984. I coached his younger brother on a soccer team, of which I knew nothing about soccer when I got here, except after a couple of practices I realized it was basketball played with your feet, so it didn't want no problem for me. But that family and I go back into the mid-'80s. So I just wanted to mention them, and also a good friend of mine, Sherman Best, whom I met when I first came to Wayne County, lost his brother a week or so ago. Just to mention those folk, I think we all need to recognize that there's surely a direction we will all go, and I just want to mention that.
Thank you, Mr. Darby.
A rare occasion, no comment.
All right, I'll keep mine brief. Mr. Gurley mentioned the Wayne County Livestock Development Association, which also runs the Wayne Regional Fair. They did have a great turnout, and again, I forgot what the figure was that in scholarships they've given out in the last 20 years or so, but it was a staggering figure. But I really want to commend them on that. Also, the regional fair is the 4th largest regional fair in the state of North Carolina. That speaks highly of that organization in Wayne County and their facilities. They've made so many improvements in the last few years. That's an attraction to Wayne County. The fairgrounds are being used for a lot more than just that 10-day fair. There's a lot of local companies are using it, and outside ventures coming in, and I just want to commend them on the great work that they're doing out there. Also, as many of y'all or all of you know, this past Sunday, we had one of our EMS trucks, or Wayne Net trucks, was returning back to Wayne County from transporting a patient to Greenville. Don't know exactly what all the details are, but they were involved in a single vehicle accident. Both of our employees were transported to Wayne. One of them had to be transported back to Vidant. Did not know the seriousness of it in the beginning, other than when he got back to Vidant. It was not near as serious as what I think they thought in Goldsboro, but I want to commend the hospital at Goldsboro and Dr. Grant for not hesitating on sending him back to Vidant. But Kenny and Jeremy both are home now. Kenny was admitted at Vidant. His injuries was neck injury, C1, but it was not near as severe as they thought. He is at home. It's going to take 8 or 10 weeks for him to recover. But I think one of the main things I want to stress is I've talked to some of our people, insurance, seatbelts saved their life. And that's a real key to when you're in accidents, is seatbelts. I mean, it's a North Carolina law. We think sometimes we have laws on the books that's not necessary, but this is one that is, and I just want to also commend our staff. Right on, from the assistant county manager right on down, they kept us abreast of what was going on Sunday. They had a very long day. But the main thing is that Kenny and Jeremy is at home, and could have been a whole lot worse. And most of the events that I was supposed to go to got snowed or iced out, so I'm about like the rest of them. I had a little Wayne time. Anyone else have any comments? If not, do I have a motion, or do I need a motion to go back in closed session?
Yes, sir, you need it.
Need a motion to go back in closed session? Have a motion on the floor.
It's for the same purposes that you went in this morning.
Mr. Bell?